guys, what's up? It's Snitchery. How you doing? Today's video, I am so excited. I love a healthy dose of competition. And today we have two powerhouse competitors. Okay.
On one side of the ring, we have Millennials.
Bold, direct, well-established, may or may not hate Eminem.
And on the other side of the ring, we have Gen Z.
Kind of yet to prove itself. Fresh, natural, up and coming. Tactics on TikTok are questionable, but we're rooting for them. And as somebody who was born in 1996, I am either the youngest millennial or the oldest Gen Zer ever. I sit right on the cusp. You guys can talk in the comments about what being 24 makes me, okay? The engagement will be worth the identity crisis. Because of when I grew up and because of my age, I came into makeup at a really interesting time when a lot of change was going on and when it was becoming really, really popular. I was kind of right there along with a lot of you guys at like the monumental rise of the beauty industry. It happened so fast. There were some really distinct millennial makeup trends that you guys will definitely remember. On the other side of the coin, I am still only 24. I'm really young, so I'm constantly changing my look. Do you guys like my hair? So I feel like I've taken on quite a few Gen Z trends, and now my makeup routine sits somewhere in the middle. Because I'm a firm believer in the fact that just because something is out of style or out of fashion doesn't mean it's less flattering or bad. I think there are probably a lot of millennial makeup techniques that would actually be far more flattering on people. Why am I doing this so much? Oh my God, I'm gonna sit on my hand. Because they're not in style right now. People aren't really willing to try them, but they were popular at one point for a reason, right? So we're gonna suss that out. But before that, if you've never seen my face before and you're ever interested in seeing my face again, feel free to subscribe down below. We would love to have you. And if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for joining me on this little video journey. It means the world. I think likes consistently help as well. So feel free to like the video if you like it at any point. Also, this video is sponsored. We have not only a sponsor, but obviously a beauty sponsor. And not just any sponsor, but one of the queens of beauty herself. We are going to be discussing the brand new brow collection of Sephora Collection. So we got a bunch of new brow products. You guys love when I do my brows on videos, so I think it'll be really fun, but we're gonna do the entire face, the whole shebang. And on that note, let's get into it. Guys, do you like my plants in the background? I thrive. Pinterest could never. Okay, so for this, I think I'm gonna do Gen Z on this side of my face and millennial over here. And let's just get right into it. I don't wanna waste your guys' time. So the first thing I remember distinctly about millennial makeup is that we were all in our full coverage bag, okay? Everybody and their mom was using full coverage foundation. We were all going in and we were cakey. It was quite a time. So I picked up just a full coverage foundation. I'm gonna take a beauty blender because beauty blenders were all the rage back then and now they are the final girl. Brings me back. It's so interesting because, and I've talked about this before using different terminology, but I think millennial makeup or makeup that was popular around this time, like the Insta-Baddie makeup, almost always looks better on camera because it is so similar to stage makeup, drag makeup, camera makeup, but we all did it again because I think at that point especially, Instagram was really popping off. This was like 2015. Everybody wanted to be photo ready in the beauty community, that is, but it's much easier to do when you just have a ring light and you're taking a picture. So I think the casual nature of like TikTok videos has kind of made makeup like this. It only really looks good in a couple lighting conditions, sort of obsolete. That said, as I'm looking at my face and I'm looking at myself in the camera, this side of my face looks flawless. I mean, come on. On to Gen Z, the youngins. Full coverage is fully out. Everybody is using CC creams, BB creams. Today, I'm gonna be using a skin tint, and even the application is slightly different. Beauty blenders are still being used, but especially with skin tints, and to pay homage to TikTok, and I think her name is Meredith Duxbury, who does her foundation with her hands. I'm gonna be doing the same. I've actually always preferred to apply skin tints and stuff like that with my hands. Millennial foundation versus Gen Z. Now, the way we apply concealer is also super different. I remember, you guys know exactly what I'm going in with. It was a time. We were struggling, and that's all I can say. Why did we apply this much concealer? Because it looks good in photos. It makes you absolutely flawless. The Gen Z side, boop, and right here. This is how I've actually been applying my concealer for a while, as you guys might know, over here on the tube. I've always only applied concealer on the outside, but TikTok actually recently told me to apply it right here too. And this technique is meant to lift your face instead of just kind of aimlessly going in with concealer. On the millennial side, I'm also gonna add quite a bit of finishing powder. I remember people basically baked their entire faces. Everybody wanted to be matte. It was all about matte blushes, matte foundation, matte lipsticks everywhere. We've got Miss Millennial and Miss Gen Zena, okay? This one looks so much more like me. Makeup that was popular at this time was just so intense. Speaking of, let's talk Insta brows. You remember that moment. Don't tell me you don't. Everybody's brows looked exactly the same and everybody's brows were intense. Now don't get me wrong, sometimes I do still wear this brow out of the house, okay? Maybe a little toned down, but I do still love a heavily structured eyebrow and it really works on some people. But again, it's the fact that this was expected from everybody. Using, as I said, the brand new Sephora Collection brow products. I've worked with them before. I talked about their brush collection, a palette once. I've done a couple videos for them because I really like their products. I think they're inexpensive compared to a lot of the stuff that you can find at places like Sephora, but they maintain that same level of quality that you'll find from other name brands. So a lot of my makeup collection is actually from Sephora Collection. I adore their lip liner. I've talked about that on this channel a bunch of times. So I was really excited to try their brow products too. I actually ended up filming a different video using these brow products that I didn't end up posting. And this one is of course sponsored, but I have tried these before and I'm really excited to show you guys how well they work. So first I'm gonna be going in with the Sephora Retractable Brow Pencil. Fine tip pencil, love that. Need that for a brow with a spoolie on the end. Quite a shade range here for all these products, which is very helpful because I find that it's actually deceivingly difficult to match brow products. So for the Insta Brow, the trick is essentially being as clean, neat, and sharp as possible. All I'm doing here is just carving out the general shape of my brow. And what's nice about these products is because it is so fine tipped, I really can go in and be very precise. The creaminess necessary to carve out that shape using only a pencil. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple hair-like strokes up in the front here. Big part of the Insta Brow is the fade from these front little hairs, which were often drawn on, at least by me, a thin-browed creature. Gradually moving into a very dark, very defined brow. So to fill this brow in, I'm actually gonna be going in with a different brow product from Sephora Collection. This is the much larger crayon. That's the spoolie end. This color, which I have not used, so I can show you guys that it has one of those angled fronts, so you can create those little brow hairs or use it exactly as I'm about to, which is using the flat end to just fill in your brow. And as I'm getting closer to the front, I'm just kind of softening my touch, using just the lightest hand to start gradually moving that color in. Next, I'm gonna take my concealer. You guys know the drill. If you are not doing makeup during the age of the Insta Brow, consider yourself lucky, but also know that there are millions of people who possess this absurd skill to make eyebrows look like they are in fact a sticker. I'm gonna take my finger and start patting it out to diffuse this. How millennial do we really want to go? Everybody was using the same concealer that they used for underneath their eyes, which obviously was too light to match with their foundation. So we all looked a little silly, didn't we? In hindsight, in retrospect. Adding a brow mascara like this, I always feel like helps make your brow, if you've just added a ton of product, look a little bit more like a brow because it'll sort of fluff out those brow hairs. Y'all, with that, I think we have a pretty decent Insta Brow going. She's looking like she's not going anywhere, so success. Now for this side, I'm actually gonna start with the brow mascara in a much lighter color because one thing I want to ensure is that I don't lose the look of the hairs in my brow. Gen Z makeup across the board, or makeup that's popular right now, is just much more reliant on people's natural features than I think makeup was like 4 or 5 years ago. Every couple centimeters, I'm just adding a very distinct hair stroke. Rather than adding a ton of pigment or even a bunch of tiny brow strokes, I'll actually just add a couple very distinct little hair-like strokes like that, and then continue to brush it up. I'm gonna build up the tail of my brow by just adding in those little brush strokes. Sometimes I even like to get some of this just on the skin where I've also added in brow hairs just to kind of make everything look cohesive. And there we go. We have the Insta brow versus the Gen Z brow. Next, we're gonna go into blush. For the millennial side, it was all about powder blush. It was always placed right here. It wasn't too much, but you could definitely see people's blush. Now, I have an entire video on my channel about it, but now I think most of us know that blush styles are very unique to individual people and individual faces, so it doesn't look best on everybody's face to have their blush sitting right here. Again, I have a video if you want to hear some of my hot takes on blush placement and what it can do for your face, but for the Gen Z side, I'm gonna go ahead and just pop it right here and on the tip of my nose. This is how I've been doing my blush more often than not lately. I'm using a dewy blush and patting it in with my finger. You never want to lose that dewiness we have going on this side. I'm not gonna contour my entire face because that could be a video in and of itself, how much contouring styles have changed. I'm just gonna go ahead and contour my nose using the Sephora brow pencils. Take this pencil and draw a line straight down my nose. And on this side, I'm gonna add this little bump. I still contour underneath, and then I only do up here. Let's see how this goes. Now I'm literally just gonna take my finger. I'm telling you, I love a hand application for makeup, okay? The concealer that has remained the same from Gen Z to millennial makeup, probably forever and beyond. We have Miss Millennial. Guys, this is bringing me back. Miss Gen Zena. Weirdly, this side makes me look so much younger. Let me know if you guys agree. I look a little bit more like myself, but I also kind of look like a kid. I like them both so far. Let's keep it going. Next, I'm gonna do lips. So for this one, I did indeed go and grab myself a little liquid lipstick. Oh my God, this has such a smell. Is that from this? It's new, so I know it hasn't gone bad, but oh my God, that is quite a pungent aroma. We've got our liquid lip. Now on the Gen Z side, I'm going back in with brow products, bitch, okay? Taking the shade Auburn, and I'm going to, next I'm gonna go into a eyeshadow palette actually, diffuse out that lip liner, but it melts in with the rest of my lips. Now I'm just gonna take my finger and diffuse it out further. And now I'm gonna take that same blush I used, fill it in. With the addition of lips, I do think that Gen Zena has started to pull ahead in terms of my personal preference for myself. Liquid lips are just so hard to get past for me. I can't stand them. I already can't stand the way they feel. Millennial eyeliner was also so iconic because everybody had a very, very similar, very recognizable wing. To start up here and bring it in like this, all the way inside, and then I would connect it. Still got it, baby! Still got, this is so scary. You could not have a wing this big and not pair it with an exaggerated lash. Ooh, a little bit of burning, that is new. Did I just not noticed that before? My mascara, Millennial Eye. Let's move on. So Gen Z prefers a much softer wing, typically in browns I've noticed rather than blacks. So I'm just gonna take this Sephora pencil, what's new, and create a little brown wing like this. And now I'm going to take a brush that's not, you know, honestly not too pointed or tapered, with slightly darker pigment. I'm not opening a product with my teeth in a video. Is it even a Snitchery video? Someone's yelling as we speak. Inner corner wing for Gen Z makeup, essential. And then I'm also gonna go into just a basic eyeshadow palette and take brown shadow on the outer third of my eye here. And then top lashes for Gen Z is actually pretty different. If they use them at all, it's gonna be a really tiny lash. So typically I'll use a lash just like the one I use on this side, but I will cut it into a very, very tiny little piece here. From the side I have more lash and it gives me a little something, but it's not distracting. It was the age of the stripe highlight. People were spraying setting spray on their brushes to get even more highlight. And I'm not gonna lie, on camera, it looks incredible. In person, it looks a little crazy. Inner corner, oh my God, I can't forget about that. Before adding highlighter to the Gen Z side, I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple little freckles. My freckles are actually coming out this summer. For Gen Z, for highlight, I feel like everybody is using liquid highlights underneath their foundation if they're using highlighter at all, or like a cream highlight on top. I don't know where all my liquid highlighters went because I actually pretty much completely gave up highlighter pretty recently. I'm gonna place it in different spots and be very subtle with it. So actually above my brow here, much more of a subtle glow than this stripe. And guys, I think we have it! Pleasantly surprised by the fact that both sides, I think, actually look pretty good. So let us go ahead and show off Gen Zena and Millennial in their full form. First, Millie. She is cute. It's very bold. It's very, mattified. I think for on-camera stuff, that really, really works. Now, onto Gen Zena. She is also freaking cute. I think overall, I do, like I said, prefer kind of a mix of the two, but I definitely found as I was parsing out my makeup routine that I'm certainly using more, I guess, current, trendy Gen Z tactics to do my makeup, and that this side looks a little bit more how you guys are used to seeing me as opposed to this side. I would love to hear what you guys thought of this video. It was some of the most fun I've had filming in a while. I know I took a long break from YouTube as usual, so I appreciate you guys watching to the end. Let me know in the comments which side you guys think won. We will decide who is the big winner between Millennial and Gen Z. Thank you to Sephora Collection for sponsoring. I will have a link down below if you guys want to shop. Thank you so much for being my friend today and always, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!